This is the only sales video you would ever need to watch for your bottlenecks for whatever you're getting stuck on. This is not absolute beginner. If you're an absolute beginner, there's a bunch of content you can watch, but I'm talking about intermediates, business owners that maybe they want to train their setters, they can send this info. Who am I to talk about it? I'm Alex. I work with 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs as their operation of sales, scale the past 50K per month to my clients. I know everything about sales because I've been through every single part of it, managed people, closed people, did appointment setting, did every single part of it. So you're in the best hands. I'm going to go straight through it. There's going to be more so a brain dump, which you guys will watch. And yeah, let's get through it. Now, in sales, there are basically one, two, three, four, five main parts. I'm going to cover them, and basically, the main rules and the main frameworks. You don't need to follow a script. You don't need to, follow a bunch of things. After this video, if you liked it, and of course you will, you can DM me the words asset, and I'll send you an entire document for appointment setting, what to do, what to not do. This is like my experience plus like the 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs. There's SOP, there's stuff. So it's top quality, high level stuff. Let's get straight to it. Now, before the call, there's appointment setting and show up optimization. Now, these two things are extremely important. Let me make this a little bit thicker. Now, these two things are extremely important. Why? Is because the quality of calls you got will determine your closing rate, and your closing rate will basically determine like how many clients you're going to get, how much money you're going to make. So that's the main bottleneck. Now, most people, what they do, they spam people. They do extremely weird cold outbound when you're starting out or when you're in the intermediate level. You don't really have an SOP or even an ICP. I've seen in some cases. The easiest thing you can do for your setter or whoever you're going to hire is give them an ICP. This is extremely crucial. Your customer profile, because what's that's going to do when he's outreaching, when he has the leads, when he's going to message them. And also, you should have two people, one people that's a VA or something automated, where the person is getting the leads, and the second person has to be who is on there just talking to qualified people. So you need to give yourself an ICP who are your customers. You can make an entire list. You can use it. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. That's the first one. As soon as you get your ICP right, what I need you to do is basically have a good appointment setter. Now, how do you find A tier talent? It's kind of hard, but what you can do is just do a bunch of posts on X. X is probably one of the best people to find. A lot of people find me through X. X is really, really good. Make a post of their hiring, incentivize them. You have to make your appointment setters feel like they're a part of the team, otherwise they will leave. Because most of them are going to work on a commission basis, which is already like kind of like a factor in. Most people can't close for shit, and you guys need to understand that. What you can do is have this entire commission plus have some sort of bonuses. And also, whenever the setter makes a suggestion after working for 1 or 2 weeks, you should listen it, and if it's good, you make him test it out. Why is that? Because he'll feel he's the part of the team. If you do not incentivize your setters, if you're not going to take their opinions, they're going to leave, because they need to feel like a part of the mission. They need to feel like they can achieve their goals with working with you. That's the number one thing. A setter, bro, I know setters that don't even get paid, but they're still in the offer. Why? Because they believe in the dream. They believe in your offer. They believe in the main process of it. Most people don't have that. So you guys need to fix that ASAP. Now, after you have done that, after the appointment is done, you need to focus on show up rates. Now, let me just put this up a little bit further. Now, show up rates is another game which you guys need to be a master at. Now, how do you get good show up rates? There's a bunch of tactics you can do. My biggest one would be just get the appointment setter to message them all the time when they're like done. Like, not spam them, but like have let's say they booked for Monday, right? And you basically had a close. Let's say you had it on Friday, right? On Friday, but their calls on Monday. What do you do on every single, like, 1 hour before they booked? You send them an asset. Then after 24 hours, send them an asset. Then you talk, where they are. You qualify them more. Like, sometimes what happens, people say the right things just to get on the call with you, because if you have like a decent amount of audience, people do that. But what you need to do is qualify them, and a lot of people will DQ themselves out. So that's also a good part. Once that's done, you can just have them on the call. They'll probably show up, or maximum to maximum, they'll probably reschedule. They'll talk to your setter. Setter needs to be active. But yeah, this is like the entire structure of it. Another 24 hours, you guys need to go in there and just hone your setters in and talk about this entire thing. But yeah, that's what you use show up rates. It's not that hard, but you need to send assets or videos that will make them like actual value is given. Let me give you a closing hack. First of all, the more value you give, the more things you do for the client, they have more willingness to pay you more and more. Now, the reason is why? Because of reciprocity. That is the key. Like if someone does something good for you, you feel a guilt in your heart when you don't do it. That's what causes a lot of people to just buy stuff when they what they don't want to buy. They do things they don't want to do because the person has done them favors. Because you have booked them an appointment, you're gonna help them with the problem. You're not sending assets on top of that. You're talking to them. You're like putting all this time, energy, effort to help them. They're gonna buy. That's the easiest way to that these things alone, sending assets and sending YouTube videos, these two things alone increase your closing rate by a lot. Now, second part is sales call structure and charisma. Now, with the sales calls, charisma, and structure, what you guys need to do is basically have a good product. That's the truth of it. If you don't have a good product or you don't have results, if you don't have people actually making money, it's going to be hard for sellers to book appointments. It's going to be hard for a closer to close and even yourself to close. When you have a good product, people like it. People love that thing. Why? Because you feel genuinely a way to convince them to buy or help them. At this point, you are not selling them and you are not educating them on your offer and on what you do because your offer actually works. And this is the biggest bottleneck. So if you guys have done everything, you have SOPs, you have EODs, you have every sort of metric right, you need to fix your product. Because as soon as you're going to fix your product, this thing is going to shoot to the room because the sellers are going to be able to set properly. The closers are going to be able to close really, really good. They're going to tell you we have so many results. Our thing is working and doing that. Now, energy over tricks. Now, what does that even mean? A lot of people, now this is going into a little bit of a wishy-washy stuff that some people say it. Let me just explain. If your frequency or if your mood is down, you're not going to close as many calls. You're not going to just close or even set that many calls. People can feel that. That's why if you're having like an extremely bad day, if you're like extreme, then I'm not saying to like, just like hop the client off, have a call with them, have a chat. And if it feels right, if it feels good, go for the close. If not, do a reschedule. Why am I saying that? If you're feeling greedy or if you feel helpless, if you feel any of these emotions on the lower spectrum, the person will detect that and they will not buy. You will lose lead. It's better to have a call another day, close them later on, than just lose the lead entirely. And these things actually matter. A lot of people try to use sales trick, and these sales tricks are basically just covering up your energy, your actual intent. That's what you need the sales trick for. That's what objection handling is a big thing. Okay, let me this. If it makes sense to you and if you know it can help, it has results, why would you have objections? Think about that. You see all these sales group objection handling, objection handling, objection handling. Yeah, of course, you need to build the trust and do that. But if your content is right, if you are selling to educated buyers, if you know you can help them, why the hell on earth would you have objection? Objection are for those people who are selling en masse and who know they can't fully help this person or they need to figure something out to help them. That's why objections even occur. Objections don't happen on good offers which are selling to educated audience. If you have an educated audience, which I talked about in the previous video, you can watch any of them. It's probably on the first video that I talked about selling to educated buyers and bottom funnels. But basically, you sell to educated buyers. After you sold to educated buyers, you can help them because you have structured your offer and your product in a way that help these peoples. Again, goes to what point? ICP. If you don't have an ICP, don't even watch this video. Make that right now. That's extremely crucial. You're not going to run a business without that. Make it super particular. Make it, like not don't make it super complicated. Keep it simple so your setters and your closers can understand that who are we talking to. And that's the entire gist of it. That's why energy matters. So with energy, you need to be on a high frequency level. You need to be a little bit, happy, or people say that actually stuff works. The higher your frequency is, the more money you're gonna make. That's the entire math. Boom. Look at this diagram. Now, onboarding and expectations is where most people mess up. Try to close people on the call. That's the best thing you can do because there is that like I spend this much money. I spent like six grand with Alex. I spent this much money. This doesn't feel right. What you do in that time, that little moment, that those like I would say like 15 minutes, those 15 minutes will matter the most. Why? Because that person will start thinking, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't do that? He has preconceived notions which are going to make issues later on. Now, how do you fix that? You fix that by closing them on the call and then handling every single limiting belief they have on the call. This is super important. You need to break their LB, which I call limiting beliefs, on the call as soon as possible. If you have done that, they'll buy. they will not have refunds. You will not have these issues which most people have about, like, refunds, or like, oh, will this work, client being an ass to them. These all things happen because you have set the wrong expectations, and if you're not breaking any of their limiting beliefs rather on the call. Perfect thing is, you break all these limiting beliefs on the closing, but of course there's still going to be some there once they pay. So you guys need to break the LB again and again and again. Once you have broken the LB, you would have so much less of a, refund, clients complaining, all that stuff, and it will just like be some elegant or smoother way of running your business. Now, expectations is such a mess in this entire industry. Most people do not understand that, and let me tell you why. You need to make an offer where the client is also working, so all the blame is not on you. Now, this is not some manipulative, or like, like, let me just move this, some like salesy, manipulative tactic. These are actual things, because if a single thing fails, if anything fails, the client will feel like you did a wrong job, even though you delivered, you did that, because every offer is different, every person is different, every person has different limiting beliefs. That's why we need to work through them. They might do their business in a certain way which you don't like, and you might do a business in a way that they don't like. And you guys need to come down and work together to fix those things. Because sometimes the systems are implemented, everything is implemented, everything is there, but the person and actual person running the business does not believe in it, which causes a lot of just the chargebacks, a lot of issues in your entire business as well, and they feel like they have been robbed rather than you giving them value. Setting the expectations, like, it's all it. When I'm working with clients, they on the onboarding, they are working along with me most of the time for the 7 day period. Then of course we implement system, everything's automatic, boom, boom, boom. But those 7 days matter the most. Your client, first of all, you guys need to understand, the the 7 day expectation is a way more. If you can make a client happy in this, let me draw a happy face, you're pretty much good. Like, if you can make the client happy, this is going to help you so much more with your entire just, processes. They're going to be, more helpful. They're going to like be just, more expecting more from you and your offer, and they want to work with you because they have in the past, and they're happy because you provided a solution to them fast. Now, here comes closing. Closing is pretty simple. Again, for closing, da, 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 you need a good product. It's pretty simple. A lot of people will tell you, no, you need to sell in a certain way. You need to have, this and that. Some basic tips that I can give you for closing is, first of all, don't do small talk. Small talk is literally ass. It's the worst on the planet. Hey, Linda, how's your dog doing? Oh, my dog is actually pretty happy, and he's this and that. Okay, Linda, now I know that your dog is a Chihuahua. Why don't you pay me 5K? Like, the entire transition, the entire authority, the entire thing is just going wrong. Imagine going to Best Buy and then having a guy, and you're like, he's asking, oh, how's your day? Oh, you want that laptop? But like, what laptop did you had in the past that made you happy? What happened to your child? Like, you would be like, just give me the fucking laptop. This is how you're gonna act. But most people make that mess up all of the time when they try to do, when they try to make their themselves comfortable. The person knows you're on a sales call, they have to pay. You know they're on a sales call, they have to pay. You know you're providing a solution. You're the one that's insecure, uncomfortable, while they're not. So you guys need to cut out small talks. Second of all, is just follow a basic, super basic thing, which is PSA, and you need to let them talk. Most men don't get hurt. If you're talking to a man, most men, their wife nags them, their kids nags them, everybody in their world is trying to shut them up in some way or censor them. If you let them talk, they're gonna be like, oh my god, this guy actually gives a fuck about me. He actually cares. Most of you people are out here talking, and like, you already know your offer, you already know your things, you already know how you sell. Why do you want to repeat that 1600 times? Like, what will that give you? Like, what will that give you in the end? So you guys need to understand that you have the person has a pain. You make a structure. First of all, you ask them for their time. Hey, are you good for the 45 minutes of the call? If they say no, reschedule. If they say no, reschedule. I did this mistake myself, but I wasn't going to solve this person anyway because I saw their attitude. It's just like, hey, I know everything, I know everything, I know everything. I'm just like, okay, fine, are you good for the call? She said, no, I have 20 minutes. I just ran through my pitch, asked her a little bit of questions. She was still super vague. So I just ended the call, didn't close it, didn't do anything. But like, yeah, you need to ask for the time. Hey, are you still good for the 45 minutes of the call? You ask that question. Then they say, okay, yeah. If they're not, you reschedule them. Then you follow, hey, I'm going to give this call a structure. So it's like actually what I use. Hey, I'm going to give this call a structure because I don't want to waste your and my time. This is how we're gonna do it. So you go ahead, you ask them, what made you, and what I ask, and what I'm just giving this out. Let me give this out. I ask them what got you interested in the DMs. I don't say the call, I don't say anything, but it's like, oh yeah, like okay, I did something in the DMs. It's not even the call because people hear that. What made you jump on the call? No, no, no. I ask them what got you excited in the DMs. They're like excited, and then they're like, yeah, I got a little bit excited. Then they try to like preconceived notions I make in their head, and then just add a pain. You ask them about their dream situation, then you just provide a solution as the dream selling thing that you can guys give. And if you have a good product, that should be super easy to sell. Objection handling shouldn't be a big issue on your offer if you're selling something unique in the market, if you have unique mechanisms, if you're selling a good service, if you're not selling what everybody's selling. Objection handling is not really there. Of course, trust and think about it, and all these things you need to hone them up, like some basic. You can learn the top 5 objections and then still be good if you have a good product. Most people need to learn the 15 objections all of the time because they just don't have a good product. Also, never hop on a call thinking of lack. Never hop on a call thinking, I need this call, I need to sell this person. Oh, let me just sell them, let me just sell them. Never do that. They can smell that on you. They'll walk off. They'll be like, this person is greedy. He just wants my money. He doesn't care. You'll act that way. Second thing, this is super massive. Don't, drum roll please. Don't sell, I'm so slow at this, to the boom boom wrong people. Do not sell to the wrong people, please guys. Do not sell to the wrong people. This will cost you so much time, energy, and money. Time and energy and money. Do not ever do this. Please don't do this, because this makes a massive difference in your trajectory. You might sell them, you might be like, oh, I got this money now, but what if they ask for a refund? What if they ask for 20 other things? What if you know it's not going to work for them? It's a hassle. Leave it. You're abundant. You can get more calls. Have that mindset of abundance and you'll close more, because most people don't have that. So that's the entire sales mechanisms that I use. It was a little bit over the place, but this is like all you need. Watch this video 2 3 times and I can guarantee you'll just sell. So here are like my top 5 pointers I will give. Have KPIs, have EODs for your setters, hire A tier talent, post on X for that. Second part is structure of the call and the charisma. That's going to come through, if you have a good product or not, if you have results or not. Having results makes the closing and the setting easier, the entire sales process. Third of all, you're selling to educated buyers. It's more so on the marketing side of things, which you guys need to work on. But yeah, having a structure for the call. Then you have energy over tricks. Energy is how, don't hop on a call when you're extremely, greedy, sad, or you're just a lot of lack is there in your life. Onboarding and expectations. Try to close the person on the call, get them that money, break their limiting beliefs, have the expectations that they're going to work with you, work with the client for the 7 days. And then of course, if you're selling a good offer, you're selling a good system, that's going to help them. Then closing is pretty simple. I'm going to say a quote by Alex Hermosi to just basically end this video, which is, a convicted sales rep would beat a pro any day. Again, a convicted sales rep would beat a pro any day. That's it. This is all you need for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. DM me the word assets and I'll send on IG. I have my IG on my main. I'll just drop it in the comments, so it's easier for you guys. DM me the words assets and I'll send you the entire structure that, my 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs guys used as their SOP for their setting and their entire, setting processes. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Bye.